In a world where rivers dance across the skies and forests appear overnight like they've been dreaming their way into day, lived a brave little gnome named Orin Truebranch. Now, Orion wasn't just any gnome. Oh no, he was a cartographer. That's a fancy word for someone who makes maps. But in the shifting realm, maps don't stay still for long, and today something very odd happened. Oren stood squinting up at a forest that hadn't been there yesterday. This grove is new, very new, he thought to himself, and my map is out of date again. He pulled out his enchanted quill and scribbled a new edge onto his parchment. As he was doing that, whoosh, a soft laugh fluttered down from above. It was, of course, Mirella. She was teasing and playful. Oh, Orin, still surprised when the world surprises you? Mirella, he said, a shapeshifter with 1,000 forms and 10,000 secrets. Okay. She had dropped from a branch above, first as a fox, then as her usual self, smiling like she knew all the answers, but wouldn't tell just yet. And Orion said, "Do you have to sneak up on me like a drifting leaf?" Mirella laughed. "A drifting leaf has more manners than I do." So they stepped into the strange new grove, and right away Orion felt it. The trees were listening. "Did you see that? The leaves moved when I spoke," Orion said. Mirella replied, "This is no ordinary forest. It's the echoing grove. It listens and remembers." Orion shivered. Not from cold did he shiver. Oh no, he had worn his favorite woolen boots, but from something more profound. This forest was old and watching. Then Orin saw it. A stone tucked beneath the tree's roots, with something etched into it. This, or these, are gnome runes. "I know this," Orin said. "This was my grandmother's lullaby that's been carved into the stone." Marilla softly finishing the line, "Let no voice fall into silence unkindly." And Orin continued, "For echoes remember the forgotten truth." His heart ached. His grandmother had disappeared long ago, swept away in a shifting storm. But now Orin knew she had been here. And maybe, just maybe, she was still here. Of course, when you're unsure what to do next, there's only one gnome to call. Do you remember who that was? No? Orin scratched a message into the soil with his quill, and it read, "Seek Elder Bramblethorn." And wouldn't you know it, he looked like a walking garden when he appeared. Moss on his hat, birds in his beard, and smells like old books and warm tea. Orin welcomed him and explained everything. The grove, the echoes, the song left unfinished. Elder Bramblethorn was serious, and he replied, "This grove, it was made by a Veilborn Lord, the Lord of forgotten promises. It traps unfinished voices and sometimes forgotten souls." Orin's hands clenched around his map. His grandmother's voice had called to him, and now it was time to answer back. Bramblethorn handed Orin a small silver bell. He examined it and took it from him. Elder Bramblethorn said, "This bell isn't for summoning. It is for remembering. Speak clearly and finish what was left unsaid by your grandmother." Orin stepped into the center of the grove. The trees had leaned forward, watching closely and listening. Orin said, "I am Orin Truebranch." "Grandmother, I finish your lullaby," he said, and he promptly finished it. He said, "Let no voice fall into silence unkindly, for echoes remember the forgotten truth." The trees exhaled, and from the branches above fell a single golden light. It touched Orin's heart and then vanished. Later, by the sideways stream that looped like a ribbon, Orin unrolled his map again, and what he saw made him gasp. A silver path had appeared on his map, glowing faintly, leading east to a place thought lost long, long ago. Orin whispered, "She left this for me." Mirella said, "Or maybe the grove left it for you." Elder Bramblethorn, smiling, said, "A gift for finishing what was started." Wow. That night they didn't rush off. They sat quietly and remembered. Sometimes the bravest thing you can do is simply listen. Far, far away beyond the veil of reality, two unseen voices stirred. Mysterious voice number one said, "One voice remembers that cannot continue." And mysterious voice two, or perhaps it said, "It's time they all remembered." And so the tale ends. Thank you for listening. And remember this: in a world that never stands still, the truest maps are made not with ink, but with kindness, memory, and the courage to speak, even when the voice shakes. Until next time, keep your lanterns lit and your heart open to every tale. I look forward to bringing you another story soon. Bye.